Are you wondering if pasta makes us gain weight? In this video, I'll reveal the commonly misunderstood story of pasta and how it affects our health, so that by the end of the video, we will reach a conclusion and finally put this debate to rest. Hey there, I'm Dr. Anna. I'm a medical doctor. I was trained in Italy, and on this channel, you're gonna learn how to master your health with the Mediterranean diet. Okay, let's start. So lately, pasta, and more generally, carbohydrates, has been associated with gaining weight and being overweight. Why? Well, let's lay out some context so we can understand the situation better. For many years, people were hypothesizing that eating a lot of fat would make you gain fat. Sounds simple, right? Doctors, nutritionists, and scientists used to advise to eat a low-fat diet, thinking that a low-fat diet would help people lose weight, improve their cholesterol, and reverse and protect against heart disease. Turns out that is not exactly how it works. Then in the 1960s and 70s, researchers started digging into this idea, and it turns out they discovered something remarkable. They found that there are some parts of the world, including the Mediterranean region, where people are consuming a diet that is pretty high in fat, and yet they are not obese like they are in other countries. And what was more profound is that the people who are eating some of these traditional diets that happen to have higher fat content also had lower rates of heart disease. So researchers and doctors started scratching their heads and realized they needed to go back to the drawing board. So the new hypothesis became, if fats used to be bad, but now they're good, maybe then carbohydrates, which we thought were good, are actually bad. And so the new enemy became the carbohydrate. Since that time, new dietary trends have been popping up all over the place that are diminishing the amount of carbohydrate. Think of things like the Atkins diet, the paleo diet, the keto diet, or more recently, the carnivore diet. Gurus of these diets are claiming that carbohydrates are the enemy and they are causing all of your health problems and your symptoms. And the recent interest in these types of diets has been absolutely exploding in the last few years. Now, since pasta is one of the most beloved carbohydrate dishes in the United States, in a country where obesity is amongst the highest in the entire world, it's easy to point the finger at pasta. But do not be fooled. Now, with a little more context, let's take a look at pasta at a much deeper level. So what is pasta exactly? Very simply, it's a food made from grinding up grain, most commonly wheat, into a flour and then adding it to water to make a sort of paste. And at this point, it can be shaped into many different sizes and forms. And then those shapes are dried and later added to water again, boiled to turn them into pasta. And a pasta dish is often prepared with some type of a sauce along with it. So since pasta comes from grains, it is a carbohydrate food. Now, carbohydrates provide our bodies with a source of energy, and that energy is a molecule called glucose. And it just so happens that glucose is the preferred source of fuel for the cells of our body. And for more information about how carbohydrate metabolism works, check out this video over here where I break down the concept of glycemic index and what it means for you. So then what happens when you eat a bowl of pasta? To answer this question and to understand if pasta alone is linked to obesity and weight gain, we need to take a look at the Italian population, the people who invented this stuff in the first place. Doing this, you are going to notice something remarkable. Italians eat pasta every single day, and I'm not exaggerating. I lived in Italy for 6 years, and I kid you not, almost all of my friends there are eating pasta at least once a day. And this shocked me because when you look around at the Italians who are walking down the street, they're very seldom overweight. And this is evidenced by the data that comes out of this country. Italy has one of the lowest rates of obesity in the entire world. Although I should mention that the trend in Italy is similar to the rest of the world in that obesity rates are increasing. So then you might be wondering, if Italians are eating pasta every single day, how is it that their obesity rates are so low? Well, here's where people really get it twisted. Not all carbohydrates are the same. To understand this, we need to understand how to think about and classify carbohydrate foods. So one of the frameworks for this is a formulated idea that separates simple from complex carbohydrates. And the idea here is that a simple carbohydrate is a food that will be simply broken down in our body during the digestive process to then absorb the glucose so our cells can use it for energy. And this happens because that food happens to have a more simple chemical structure. sugar. In turn, because it's simply broken down, that process happens more quickly, which means our blood sugar is going to spike faster. Contrast this with a complex carbohydrate, a food that has a more complex chemical makeup. That food will be broken down more slowly in our body and thus will increase our blood sugar more slowly. And the point here is that the more slowly sugar is released into our bloodstream, the better that is for our body. We know that blood sugar spikes are associated with type 2 diabetes and can cause damage in many parts of our body when that process is repeated many times over many years. Additionally, having high spikes in our blood sugar is not good for our pancreas. It causes it to overwork itself, producing more insulin that can then cause something called insulin resistance. And we know that insulin resistance is a driving mechanism underlying obesity, type 2 diabetes, and even cardiovascular disease. So what are some examples of these simple or complex carbs? Well, the most classic example of a simple carb is white sugar or sucrose. This kind of sugar is often added to baked goods like cookies, cakes, and crackers. And recognize that a lot of this added sugar is associated with negative health outcomes. Alternatively, these complex carbohydrates tend to be natural sources of carbohydrate in our plant foods. So these are things like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes like lentils or beans, and even the carbohydrate that's inside of nuts, seeds, dairy. So think of these complex carbohydrates as sources of good carbs for your body. So where's the debate exactly? Well, some people quickly assume that pasta, because it is a refined food, that is where you take the whole grain source and you have to mill it down into a flour, makes it a simple carbohydrate. But this turns out to be false. It just so happens that foods with similar carbohydrate content can be digested completely differently in our bodies. And the key difference is that carbohydrates are digested much more slowly when they also have starch and fiber intact with them. And this is what most people misunderstand about pasta. While yes, it is refined from taking a whole grain and breaking it down, pasta is digested as a slow form complex carbohydrate, which when consumed in an overall balanced diet is much less likely to lead to insulin resistance and obesity. And there's a bunch of research backing this up. Some researchers have in fact shown that pasta in and of itself is not linked to obesity. And this comes from a mix of both observational studies and clinical trials in humans. So this article here is showing that pasta in fact has a low glycemic response since it still contains fiber. The authors of this article conclude that pasta, in the context of an overall low glycemic index dietary pattern, does not cause you to gain fat or adiposity. And they conclude that in fact it can even reduce the amount of weight gain compared with a higher glycemic index dietary pattern. And this article here discusses how pasta is associated with an overall increased nutrient intake in a diet and with improved diet quality. And this article here talks about how more than 1/4 of the total cases of type 2 diabetes in the world are associated with a lower overall intake of whole grains. And we know that pasta is a source of whole grains in our diet. So if this is really just piquing your curiosity, I want you to go ahead and subscribe so you can get more of this really important information. And it helps us get these videos out to more folks. All right, so at this point, you might be wondering, if pasta is not bad for us, does that also mean that it's good for us? Well, this answer is going to depend on 4 factors. So factor number 1, the method of manufacturing. Now, the glycemic response is going to depend on how it is processed. So it's theorized that pasta from Italy may be a little bit different than the pasta made in other parts of the world, like in the US. A lot of Italians like to point at the heritage of some of the wheat grains used to make pasta and how these grains are different than the wheat that comes out of the United States. They say that ancient grains like kamut, durum, and farro are quite different than the modern bread wheats that are most commonly used to make pasta in other places. Factor number 2, and this is the amount of pasta eaten. So as it turns out, portion sizes are dramatically different in Italian restaurants compared to American. And part of this is that in Italy, you're usually having a dinner in 2 separate dishes. You have your first course and your second course. Often pasta is eaten as one of these courses. And when you think about what you're eating in your overall meal, if you're ordering 2 separate dishes, each of those is probably slightly less than if it was just one main dish for your entire meal. Additionally, when Italians eat pasta, they're almost always measuring the amount that they want to eat, especially when they're cooking it in their house, which usually ranges anywhere from 80 to 120 grams. The third factor to consider when understanding if pasta is good for us is the way the dish is prepared. So this is really dramatic dramatically different from a classical Italian prepared pasta dish from an American style pasta dish. Usually Italian pasta has sauce that's sort of sticking to the pasta rather than swimming in it. American style pasta likes to go a lot heavier on the cheese and the meat sauces, while in general, an Italian pasta dish is going to have a wide variety of sauces. It can be vegetarian, it can just be herbs or nuts and seeds, or it can have a fish or a seafood. And in thinking about the dish preparation, this is where a lot of the hysteria comes into play. If you're thinking about pasta considered alone in a meal in terms of how it's going to impact our digestion and our overall health, you're not really thinking of this equation correctly, because almost always pasta in the Mediterranean diet sense is never eaten alone. It's going to come with it sources of healthy fat like olive oil and other proteins like the fish or seafood, nuts or seeds, or even a meat sauce. As well, a pasta dish might have other sources of carbohydrates and good healthy fiber. There might be some vegetables mixed in and some herbs, or even legumes like beans. All of these factors together, thinking about the amount of fat, the amount of protein, the amount of fiber in any meal, including a pasta dish, is going to dramatically impact the way it's metabolized in our body. And that's what's really making a difference in our overall health. And then finally, the fourth factor to consider when thinking about if pasta is actually good for us is how pasta is eaten in the context of the rest of somebody's diet and overall lifestyle. Pasta in and of itself is known to be a very satiating food, meaning when traditionally prepared, it's going to help us feel full. And we know that feeling full is really crucial to overall reducing the amount of calories eaten in an entire day. Not to mention the fact that pasta intake has been associated with an overall higher diet quality. So where does this leave us? So if we understand that traditionally prepared pasta dishes are great and they are not associated with obesity or weight gain, then we can incorporate pasta into an overall balanced, healthy diet, just like the Italians do. And if you are struggling with weight loss, I'd argue that pasta is probably not the problem. The point is, we need to truly understand weight loss in its entirety. And I have that broken down in this series over here on weight loss. Jump into those videos and I'll see you over there.